Okay, welcome this morning to the Largs Bay RSL, where we're delighted to be launching our traditional ANZAC Round game this Saturday afternoon at Adelaide Oval in partnership with the RSL. Welcome to State RSL President Cheryl Cates and her husband Peter, who is the Largs Bay RSL President also, and thanks for having us and walking us around and having a look around the fantastic memorial. It's really poignant that we're meeting here this morning in front of the William Roy Drummond Memorial. William, or Roy as he actually referred to himself, grew up in Largs Bay and played in Port Adelaide's 1913 and 1914 premiership teams, as well as champions of Australia teams. 2 years later, Roy enlisted in the Australian Army and in 1919 was awarded a military medal for his deeds at the Battle of Hamel in July 1918, where he took control of his platoon after all other non-commissioned officers were killed. Roy reorganised the platoon, led them to their objective that night, and assisted the wounded in getting through the operation. We have really strong links, obviously, with the Australian Army that date back well over a century. Along with Roy Drummond, we've had 130 past players who have and officials who've served our country since 1915, 14 of which sadly never returned. This weekend, and you'll see behind me the Guernsey that our players will wear. We'll proudly wear an ANZAC commemorative round Guernsey. Inside the back collar, we'll carry a quote from club legend Bob Quinn. The quote reads, "Always give more than anyone else." It was those words and attitude that drove Bob to be not only a legend, a military legend, but also a legend of the Port Adelaide Footy Club. And like Roy Drummond, Bob was also a military medalist. Bob was awarded a military medal in 1943 for courage, leadership and devotion for his incredible deeds in the Battle of Tobruk in August 1941. Quinn returned from serving his country to captain coach Port Adelaide and won a second Magarey medal in 1945, which is an incredible story, and I know we'll be telling that story throughout the week. All our match-worn Guernseys this weekend will be auctioned post-game, with all the proceeds going to the RSL's ANZAC appeal. Port Adelaide and the RSL and the Badco medal, this will be the 18th consecutive year that we've hosted ANZAC Round here at Adelaide Oval, or in Adelaide, notwithstanding the COVID issues of the last couple of years. We're immensely proud, and it's a great privilege for us to be hosting this round yet again. It'll also be the 18th consecutive year that we'll award the Peter Badco VC medal, which will be presented to the player that best exemplifies the ANZAC spirit, skill, courage in adversity, self-sacrifice, teamwork and fair play. The medal has been donated by the SA branch of the RSL and is named in honour of the late Major Peter Badco VC, who was the last South Australian to be awarded the military's highest honour for bravery, the Victoria Cross. Saturday's a really special day for our football club. We take it incredibly seriously, and we're really looking forward to the day. I'll now hand over to Cheryl, the president of the RSL. Cheryl.
Thank you, Matthew. Well, words escape me. You've summed it all up in pretty well.
Stole the show, didn't you?
He stole the show, yeah. But no, that's all right. Look, we're really honoured, the RSL in South Australia, to be part of this round every year, and it's a very poignant round, and just to see the looks on the faces of the players when they're out there and the reciting of the ode and the playing of the last post, it's just wonderful and brings it home what they're out there doing and representing and paying their respects to people who have made the ultimate sacrifice, and that's including members of the Port Adelaide Football Club, and as Matthew alluded to, over 130 members over time. And I think I'm pretty sure you come close to one of the biggest clubs in AFL that actually have had so many people serve their country, which is really good. Yes, he's only won 4 Australians from the Vietnam War to receive the honour of a Victoria Cross, and South Australian at least. The family present the medal on the evening, and I'm sure you've already been the club's already been in contact with them. It's actually voted on by journalists and media personalities on who are covering the match at the time. So and then it's presented to the player, as Matthew alluded to. Best demonstrates the ANZAC spirit and qualities. The RSL always looks forward to working with the Port Adelaide Football Club, not just for the ANZAC Round. It's very important, and in Australia, ANZAC Day, as we all know, on Australia's calendar every year. And I still get questions asked, what day is ANZAC Day on? But it's a very important date on our calendar, and we look forward to working with the Port Adelaide Football Club in the lead up to the ANZAC Round. But not only the ANZAC Round, what the Port Adelaide Football Club has done and is continuing to do for veterans moving forward. And we really, really appreciate it and thank them, and good luck, boys.
Thank you.
I think you make this the annual request in your fixture. What does that then compel Port Adelaide to deliver on the day? What do you feel? And it's more than just internally, but also among your greatest supporter base. What do you feel today has to reflect for Port Adelaide?
I think it's a day of education and celebration. In fact, it's more than a day, it's a week, and that's the point of us. This is how we open our week, and the whole week is about the amazing stories of the people who have served our country, not only like Roy Drummond, nearly over 100 years ago, but more recently in the recent conflicts. And I think that's we take that role really seriously, and it's really important for our generation to make sure that those stories are told, and those legends are passed forward for future generations. And you've only got to go to dawn services now and see the number of kids and families that are engaged in it, even in over the last 10 or 15 years. It's significantly increased, and I think we play a very small role in that, but it's a role that we take really seriously, and it means a lot to our football club and the people that have been around our football club for a long period of time.
Which are the jumper is unbelievably powerful and very subtle. Just your reactions when you first saw it. Could you just talk us through how the design that specifically came about?
Yeah, I guess it absolutely. It's subtle, which I think is in keeping with ANZAC Round. It's not. It's about the stories. There's, as you can see, there's the subtle inclusion of the design, and then of course the quote from Bob Quinn, which is really poignant and sitting in the back of our Guernsey, about doing more than anyone else. So I think our team have done a terrific job in that, in honouring what the day is all about.
No, I wasn't aware of the Roy Drummond story, so this morning's a great opportunity to come down and hear that and experience it with the memorial and the murals around the RSL. Obviously, know Bob Quinn's story very well, and I'm very proud to wear the same colours as him and strive every day to do a portion of what he did when he represented the club and the country.
What's the sense of responsibility like young players?
Yeah, I think it's particularly pertinent this week that we've got those words printed in the collar. It's going to require us to go above and beyond, and I feel like as a playing group we strive to do that day to day. So it's going to really narrow the focus this weekend. I think it's quite fitting that it is ANZAC Day Round, and we get to really put it all on show from a selfless and sacrificial point of view rather than a skill and talent point of view.
We always say that you expect 100% from players, but how do you then find that manifest to give them more than on a day like this?
I think when you talk about 100%, it's about the way that is manifested, whether it is in selfless and team acts or in individual acts, and I think the ANZAC Round really just makes that quite clear, that it's about what you can sacrifice for the people around you.
You have an extra sense of burden on a day like this, or wouldn't you even describe it as a burden?
It's certainly not a burden. It's a great opportunity, and it's a privilege. We've obviously campaigned hard to have this game every year because it means such a great deal to our club supporters and members. So it's not right to compare a game with the sacrifice that some of our members and our citizens have made, but it's just a great celebration and we've got to do it justice.
You said that narrows the focus so much. You really need that.
I think we've tried to do that anyway because there is a lot of outside noise, but we've still got great belief in our group and the connection, and our goal remains the same. So we're focusing on our processes internally and looking forward to the West Coast Eagles this weekend.
Tommy, do you think your season is on the line against the Eagles?
I think there's a lot at stake every week. What's happened in the last month is gone now, and all we can do is look forward to that. I think, like we've talked about here, it's a great opportunity. It's going to require selfless behaviours and sacrifice, and it's going to be exactly what we need going into Saturday afternoon.
How important is getting that win then? How important is notching the first win of the season?
It's what you play for. You play to win games of footy, and it's disappointing that it hasn't come yet, but we'll be going out there and doing everything we can to get it this weekend. I'm really confident in this group still, our ability, our connection, our belief in one another. I think the environment we're creating around the club, while we're reviewing and looking at where we can improve, we're all sticking together and doing it together.
On the weekend, you saw the difference between your worst and your best. What's the way to avoid one and make sure you finish up with the other?
Yeah, so while we were, somewhat satisfied with the second half, we appreciate the first half was absolutely unacceptable. And like I've spoken about, and I probably feel like I'm on repeat a bit, it's about being committed to working harder than the opposition, but doing things for your teammates rather than doing things for yourself. And like I've said, we've spent a lot of energy in that space in the last couple of years, and that work and that foundation we've built doesn't just disappear overnight. So we'll go back to the well on that.
The injuries are notable, but at the same time you preach the squad mentality.
Absolutely.
For 3 years, so who has to actually accept that there's a need to step up to prove that point?
I think it's on all of us. If you've looked over the year so far, it's been inconsistencies across the board. So it's on all 22 of us, whoever gets picked this week, to wear that special Guernsey to put their best foot forward.
Tommy, you talk about selfless acts. Do you feel like players haven't been doing that just because of the results?
I think the results are an outcome of sometimes when we've probably departed a little bit from what our values are as a team, but at the same time we've had some challenges from personnel based to a little bit of bad luck, and also some areas where skill have let us down. So it's hard to put a finger on exactly what it is, and you've probably noted that as well through our performances, but ultimately we're not getting the results we're after, so we're going to keep working hard to get them.
Is that even more frustrating? I suppose, like you say, we've seen glimpses of how good you can be, but there's probably no real quick fix or snap your fingers and you understand what's happening. Is it frustrating that you're searching for the answer?
Yeah, but that's the reality of the industry we're in. If you don't win on the weekend, you have to audit the game very hard, and externally you do as well. But all we can do is focus on the game ahead. We can review the game and then take it into training this week, and then look forward to our opposition and focus on them now.
And so, from a positive point of view, what did the second half give you then against Carlton?
I think the positives that came out of it were the way that certain individuals really stepped up. We threw some young blood into the midfield. Butsy, Rose, Ryan Burton in his 100th game really stood up. Dan Houston was another one, and I think once again we showed that resilience not to roll over.
How about your own fitness, Tommy? Your knee okay? You seem to have a bit of look like you had a bit of soreness or something.
Yeah, mate, I was a little bit stiff yesterday, but I've got another 5 days to get it right, so might be a bit of a quieter week on the track, but I'm pretty confident I'll get up for this clash.
Can we expect anyone to come in like a Lockie Jones or someone like that, or even a Razia Fantasia? Where's he sort of at?
Yeah, so Raz is still a little way off. Lockie Jones is in health and safety protocol, so he should be available, but that's obviously one where his health comes first. And then there were some really strong performances at Magpies level, despite going down at the parade. They were quite undermanned, and the likes of Ollie Lord, Jake Piscini, Tash Schofield, all of the young listed boys that played on Friday night can hold their head high for the way they went about it.
How's Ollie?
Ollie Wines. Yeah, Ollie's another one where he'll put his hand up to play, and once again it's going to come down to health and safety, but he's really confident. He spent the week around the group pretty much training, so I'm confident he'll play.
Tom, Sam Hayes now has a clear space to prove himself after waiting so long. What did he show in that first game? Where does he progress from here?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a long while coming for Hazy. He's played some great footy. He obviously won the Magpies Best and Fairest last year. It was great to see him get that opportunity, and he's going to have some challenges rising to the level of an AFL ruckman, but I think on the weekend he showed a great competitiveness and he really showed his skill as a tap ruckman. His challenge is going to be being able to do that week in, week out against the best ruckman in the competition.
Cheryl, what do you think when you see the jumper?
I think it's fantastic, actually. It really grabs at your heart. When I saw it this morning, a little bit of sand, actually, because I thought, and that's the thing about it. And what I'm seeing on social media as well at the moment is how everyone is so looking forward to the round this weekend. It's the favourite round of the year.
Prediction?
On Port, of course.
Tommy, sorry.
How important is it for the RSL perspective to have crowds back to be able to join in this?
It is. It's been difficult. We have two major fundraisers a year, and that's the ANZAC Appeal and the Poppy Appeal, which is around Remembrance Day. And it's been difficult with COVID because I've even been over on the bridge shaking the cans, But people don't have cash, so it's a card thing. We missed out on a complete year. Last year we couldn't do the cans either. So hopefully this year we can get some volunteers out and about and start rattling those cans, maybe pass them around in the ground. I don't know, but we rely heavily on those two appeal days so that we can provide some more services for veterans, more programs for veterans.
Tommy, can I just ask you one more generic? Is the umpire dissent situation that's happening at the moment with some dubious calls? What do you make of the whole situation?
Look, I can't comment on the specific examples. I haven't seen all of them, but I think the approach around respect and responsibility is the right one. I think the rugby union set the example in that space, and I think it's a path that's worth going down. Yes, there's going to be some a bit of a balancing act and some teething problems getting it right, but I think all in all it's the right way to go.
So have you reached the point where West Coast keeps beating you at Adelaide Oval this time to make the mark on side of the legend?
We'll win this weekend, Rich.
Just about, I suppose fans are understandably a little bit frustrated with the start, for a variety of reasons. Could you just talk us through, how do Ken and the coaches handle sort of external pressure and a bit of that fan grumbling?
Look, there's no misalignment. The expectation of Tom, Ken, and the coaches is exactly the same. We haven't started the season as we would have expected. The reality is that so there's no misalignment there. The reality is, though, there's one group of people who can do something about that, and that's Ken, Tom, and the playing group. We're really well led. We've got great confidence in Tom and in Ken. And as Tom has said, it's really about doing what we can control this week to get our season started and get the win that we desperately need.
So is the speculation about Ken unfair, do you think?
We understand it. But look, at the end of the day, like I said, we haven't started the season as we would have expected. We're really well led. We've got great faith in our people, and we're going to back them in to turn it around.
Will you think about penning another letter to the members if you perhaps do lose another game, or what's the message going to be to keep the faith?
Look, we I think every 3 or 4 weeks I provide an update to our members on issues that are topical across the club and that are important. So that's not going to change. We'll continue that across the year with the issues that are coming up to keep them informed and keep them part of the journey that we're on together.
How is Ken, just behind the scenes and day to day?
Look, Tom would probably be the person to ask best. He sees it day to day, closer than I do. But from what I see, we've got as Tom said, we've got a group who have really invested in being really connected. They're really focused. They're supporting each other, and whilst it's a really positive environment, and it has to be. I mean, it's the weekend is a really good example where, absolutely, as Tom said, the first half was unacceptable, but the way that they turned things around in the second half gives us says that the group are really connected, and it should give us confidence going into this week against West Coast.
Is there an ultimatum with Ken Richo? Is it got to the stage where can you guarantee him the entire year?
Look, I just don't think there's any point in dealing with hypotheticals. I mean, our focus has got to be, we're playing West Coast this weekend, a really important game for our club, certainly from a football sense, but as we've talked about this morning, it's a really important week for our footy club for a whole range of reasons. So we've just got to stay really focused on the things that we can control. And we're 5 games in and we haven't had the start that we'd want, but we've got great people and we'll back them in to turn it around, and that has to start this weekend.